People now are just sitting back and thinking, oh, I'll just let AI do it. You know, you see all these emails, all these emails that are coming out. Well, how many of them are actually written by someone? Or how many of them were just typed in, hey, write me this, and, you know, I want to post it here. And then they write it for you, and then you just post it. Well, they're not coming from your words. You know, a computer is writing that stuff. When you get on the phone, there's no computer to help you speak to someone. You still need to be able to speak to someone. In my opinion, AI is actually hurting businesses because you're losing that human-to-human interaction, the ability to communicate. I don't want a computer to do the work for me. I want to do it myself. So I still believe in making cold calls. I still believe in writing your own emails. Do we utilize AI in certain areas? Of course we do. It's 2026, we have to. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of doing business and having partnerships, you can't rely on AI to do that for you.
Welcome to Do Small Business Like a Big Boss, where we explore the real stories, hard-earned lessons, and game-changing strategies of entrepreneurs who've moved beyond the side hustle and built businesses that scale with confidence. This show is proudly sponsored by Project Icon. I'm your host, Aisha Massengill, your small business legal guide. Let's dive in. All right, bosses, welcome to the latest episode of Do Small Business Like a Big Boss. Today, I'm really excited to have Gregory Weiss. He is the managing partner of sales and marketing at Action Staffing Group. They help businesses across all industries build reliable teams fast. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Welcome to the show. I wanted to just have you take us back a little bit and the moment that you realize that staffing wasn't just about filling seats. You talk about, I think when I was doing some of the research, about it being a very personal endeavor for you. Just kind of take me through your origin story there.
Yeah, so the way we look at staffing, and let me start off by saying, so my family's been in staffing for over 20 years. Action Staffing, we started in 2012. My father started it. His name is Mark Weiss. And then now it's being run by myself, my brother Dan, and then our CEO, Trish. And our way of looking at the business is not just as, okay, how many clients can we open up, but rather how many people can we put to work? That's the most important thing. We are in the business of helping people change their lives for the better. We're in the business of helping people get another opportunity, second chances, if you will. And ultimately, we just want to build partnerships. That's what it's all about. Partnerships with our clients, partnerships with our vendors, and then partnerships with our associates as well.
Awesome. One thing I noticed, which was an interesting shift, was at one point you held the CEO title and now you're the managing partner, saying focused heavily on sales and marketing. A lot of people struggle with titling and roles. So what drove that transition for you?
So Trish was hired on to be our CFO, and she is a wonderful young person with a lot of ambition, a lot of knowledge, and she is the person who really drives our business forward, where my brother and I, Dan, we both hold managing partner titles. And we both have sales in our title. He handles on the mostly also on the operations side, and then I handle the marketing side. The way we are, though, we don't really believe in titles. We believe our name is in there. I mentioned it earlier, partners. So the three of us are tremendous partners. We communicate with everything. We make decisions together. We don't make decisions alone. So everything is really decided amongst the three of us. So whether your title is CEO, CFO, managing partner sales and operations, managing partner sales and marketing, doesn't matter. The three of us, we run this business together.
Is that something that your dad ingrained in you all as you were growing up?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
titles don't mean a thing.
Did you ever have a time when you and your brother just like cracked heads about how to make a particular decision? Did your dad have to come over top and be the tiebreaker? How did you all navigate? I mean, I love the idea of partnership, but there had to have been a time where you didn't see eye to eye. Did you have like a standard process for how you navigated conflict is probably a strong word, but just the differences of opinion about approach and strategy.
I think any business, you will always have a difference of opinion amongst your peers. You're never going to agree 100%, but we hear each other out, and our way is we come up with different ideas and we go with the best idea. So, like I mentioned before, we don't make decisions on our own. We talk amongst ourselves and we talk as a group and we come up with the best plan, the best decision. We run with it. If ultimately that does not work, we get together and we come up with another decision. So as far as like butting heads, I mean, he's my brother, of course.
Who's
We
the
butt
big
heads all the
brother?
time. I am.
You are okay.
I
So
have him
that's
by
probably why you're
2 years.
so relaxed. That's because you're the
So
big brother.
really, we discuss things as a group and we come up with the best decision. And it doesn't always, you don't always get what you want, but you know what? We go with it, and if it works, great. It's only going to make our company stronger. It's going to make us stronger, and we do make a great team, and that's why we are so successful.
I do want to circle back to that transition from CEO to being a managing partner. I'm very clear on the fact that you all have a collaborative approach to how you run the business, but it is something to move from that CEO title to a managing partner title. What was just some of the thought process for that change?
So my father ultimately decided to retire. This was about a little over a year ago. He still watches over the business, still oversees a lot of the business. We still run ideas and things by him. But as far as the title itself, it never really was about the title. It's about the success of the company that we care about. Whether I have held the title of CEO or currently hold the title of CEO or Trish holds the title of CEO, it doesn't matter to me. It's what are we doing as a business moving forward? Are we growing? Are we adapting to the changes of our environment? Are we making the necessary changes to stay ahead of the game, ahead of our competition? And ultimately, are we still putting people to work? And is that number going up? And I can honestly say today that that number is going up. We put more people to work than we did yesterday, and we're going to put more people to work tomorrow than we did today.
Excellent. And since you all have been in business for so long, how did you weather the COVID storm, and how are you seeing the ebbs and flows of your business now that we're a little bit distant from that?
COVID definitely changed our business, and it had a significant impact on our business. Whereas a lot of companies, a lot of staffing agencies were closing doors during that time, Action Staffing was actually opening more. We were actually called upon by the government here in New Jersey to stay open. We were deemed an essential
Wow.
business. So we were still sending people to work to and from. I was in the office every single day, along with a couple of other members of my team, in the office every single day. And we never stopped. We kept going because ultimately people still got to get food on the table. You know, you still got to eat. So we made sure that these companies that relied on us, we were there for them. And it wasn't easy. It was not easy, but we got through it. And we came out a stronger company than we went into it.
Awesome. Just pivoting a little bit, one of the huge pain points for my listeners is that first hire. They're terrified about the cost or trusting someone else with their baby. So, since you live and breathe this stuff, what are some of the biggest mistakes that maybe you see small business owners make when they finally decide to bring somebody on? Is it, for example, hiring like too fast, hiring for the wrong traits? How do you help them navigate through all of that?
What a lot of people don't understand is that there's a cost that comes with when you don't have the right people in place or you're short staffed. For example, if you run a distribution warehouse and you have trucks that are sitting there because you're still looking for drivers and you're struggling to find those drivers, well, those trucks aren't going out, which means your product isn't going out. You're causing delays to your customers, which is costing them money, which ultimately is costing you money. So there's a cost that comes with everything. When you look at staffing, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that we're all in business to make a little money. Otherwise, why would we be in business?
Right.
Everyone wants to make a little bit of profit. But the cost that goes with our fees If you were to hire that person on your own, you would be responsible for those costs. And I'm talking payroll taxes, unemployment, workers' comp insurance. You would have to pay all of those. Whereas we take that liability away from you and we take the pressure, the stress away from you. We allow you, the management team, the hiring team, to focus on more important things like running your business. We'll find you the great workers. We'll take on the liability that comes with it. Of course, there's a cost to that, but it's not as much as you think when you actually understand and run the numbers. And that's where a lot of companies, I feel, make the mistake. They jump into immediately saying, "Oh, staffing firm, no, I'm not paying your fees." Well, my fees really aren't that much, but you got to understand, you got to understand where your costs are, and that's where we come in. We aren't just a staffing firm. We're a partner that we want to, and also you can look at us as consultants. All right. We want to help you understand and break down the cost of not only your business, but our business as well.
What are, one of the themes that we've had in this short time we've been talking so far is just the idea of partnership, whether it be from a management perspective, how you all operate, and then what your goals are when you're working with your clients. So, what are some concrete ways that that partnership shows up with your clients as you help them be successful in their businesses?
One of the things that I talk about most, and I have a newsletter or a blog that goes out every single Monday. And one of the things that I talk about most is that people are afraid to just pick up the phone and talk to people. Like you and I are having a conversation, a lovely conversation right now. People just don't do that anymore. So where we come in, when I say partnership, my phone is literally 2 feet away from me at all times. Here it is. And we do that for a reason, because we want to be involved. We want to be ready. We want to be prepared for whatever happens. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had companies call me and say, I got an emergency. We got this last minute order. I need 15, 20 people and we need them now. All right. And I could literally be doing whatever. And I stop what I'm doing and my team gets available, gets ready. And we jump into action. No pun intended. But we literally do. There was a day where a client had called us and it was Mother's Day weekend. And they had an emergency case where they needed 15, 20 people and they were out in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And what did we do? It was on the weekend. Everyone stopped what they were doing. We recruited 15, 20 people, and we actually transported those people at the time we were able to. We transported those people from our office in New Jersey all the way out to Allentown, PA, and it lasted maybe about a week or two, but we got the job done. And that is, again, partnership. So that is what sets us apart from our competition. We are always ready. We are always available.
Yeah, that idea of picking up the phone and asking for help when you need it is maybe one of the downside byproducts of information being everywhere that
hmm
people, I think, waste time sometimes spinning their wheels trying to navigate through a problem when they can just access the help that's right in front of them. Leveraging people like yourself who have the expertise and they're ready to hop on it, right? Um,
Networking.
yeah.
Nobody does it anymore. You never know when your paths will cross. If I'm offering you a service today and you don't need it, fine. But just let me know. Don't just ignore me, because you never know. 3 months from now, 4 months from now, you may be in a position where you desperately need help. Maybe you're looking for a position yourself, or you need those 15 people to get you through a project. And guess who you're going to reach out to? It's going to be me. So why not just start a relationship? Doesn't mean you have to use my services today, but you may need them in 2 months. But just pick up the phone, just answer an email, talk to each other. That's the problem that we run into. And that's the problem with, I believe, where AI comes into it.
Mm.
It's changed everybody. I built my career on cold calling, on email blasts, and it's like impossible to do it nowadays.
Have
So,
you all experienced any like fraudulent things with AI? There have been some companies, for example, where they have people like bots either submitting for things and then or the other way where there have been fake job postings on both sides. Have you had that experience at
Of
all in
course.
your company? Tell
Of
us about
course.
that.
Look, everything now is done through the internet or online, right? Applications are being done online. I used to have 35, 40 people sitting in my office every morning filling out applications. Now I'm lucky if I have 35, 40 in a week, but I still take those applications, but it's done online. So I understand where people may be a little scared to provide some of the information, but we are very careful with what we do and how we protect the information that is provided. So yeah, you got to be careful with everything. I mean, it's from the candidate side filling out applications to even companies that are reaching out for like payrolling services. I get companies asked all the time, hey, can you take on 10 or 15 people of my company and put them on your payroll? I have to find out, why is it that you want to do this? What are the reasons? And then they go through a very extensive credit check, and we run a complete background on the company, and we have to give them a green light first to make sure that, okay, we can go ahead and do this. But yes, you got to protect yourselves at all costs.
Absolutely. I would say, trust but verify. That you definitely have to take some additional due diligence in this age.
Absolutely.
Some of the things that I've read is that you talk about moving fast because time is money.
hmm
In the early days of business, fast usually equals chaos. So, what's one simple system or habit that you guys have used at Action Staffing to keep things moving quickly without the wheels falling off? So,
Well, first off, when it comes to staffing or temporary staffing, it is chaos, right?
okay.
We call it the tornado staffing because it literally comes at you real quick and it could be over. But it's when it comes to the chaos and being prepared, mm, you always have to be ready for the unexpected. And that could be literally getting 10 or 12 people ready, and then an hour before that job goes out, them calling me up and saying, you know what, cancel it, we don't need them. So anything can happen. So when it comes to staffing, yes, it's crazy regardless. But it just it what's most important is how you're prepared for that, and how we can shift gears rather quickly. So if we run into a situation where an assignment gets canceled last minute and we have 10 people that were supposed to be put to work and now don't, we shift and we try to make sure that we have spots for those people. So we'll call companies and we'll say, hey, I got, 12 people that have forklift operating experience. Do you have a spot for them? And maybe that company will take one or two. Then we'll shift over to another company and do the same thing. And that company will take one or two. So we're always trying to do right by our candidates and our clients. We feel horribly when assignments get canceled, when they get delayed, but that's just the nature of our business. It's out of my control. A lot of things are out of my control.
Yeah. My dad, that was something that my dad taught me through the context of the serenity prayer. Like, you have to know what you cannot change, what you can change, have the wisdom to know the difference so that you can really put your control of controllables and put your energy in the right place.
hmm
And I used to often say, I like working with foxhole people. Like, when we're going through a challenging time, we should all acknowledge that we're dealing with something that's rapid, that's intense. But as a leader, people are looking to you and they can't see you going, oh, right? You have to be the calm in the storm. And then when it's over, we can go exhale and do whatever we need to do to recover. But
Yeah.
you have to know that there are times in your business and in my business sometimes where you have these sprints, almost like the project managers talk about, and you need people who have the mentality to be able to handle that.
And it's not only that, it's just understanding. When a client calls us and cancels an order, yeah, it's horrible for us because that's an order that would have made us some money. But it's even more horrible for the people who were supposed to go to work, who now are not going to get that hourly pay for that day or that week or however long it is. It's more difficult for them. And a lot of times they don't understand what goes on, like you just said, in the background. So the way I am is I'm managing partner, but I sit out front with my recruitment team. I'm at the at the front counter at the window watching everyone who comes in our door. If I hear someone get upset, I'm the first person that gets up and I'll tell them, you want to be angry at someone, be angry at me. Take it out on me.
Mm,
Don't take it out on my team. It's not fair to them. They're not the ones that decided to do this. I'm not the one that decided to do this.
right.
It's just unfortunate, but we will continue to try and find you something so that we can get you working as soon as possible. That's the toughest part, is the disappointment on some of these people when they come into our office. They rely on us.
Hmm.
And in turn, I rely on my clients to provide them with the work, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah,
That's the toughest part about this business.
one of the other things that I talk about is in the context of people, right? You're making business decisions that have personal impact.
Yes.
And that is one of the hardest things to deal with. You're not talking about making widgets and now we have to reduce the number of widgets. Like you're making a business decision. So your client may say we no longer need that order, but that has very personal impact to people. And it takes a special kind of person to really operate well in that space and be able to deal with humans.
The hardest part of that is on the client side. We understand where the market is as far as pay rates go. We understand if someone's going to be working in a freezer, they should be getting paid this much. If they're going to be operating any type of machinery, a forklift, a high-low, cherry picker, they should be getting paid this much. If they're going to be driving a CDL tractor trailer, they should be paid this much. Clients don't look at it that way. You know, they look at the other number. How much is it going to cost me? Right?
Right.
So when it comes to getting orders, I'm very happy to say that we work very hard in getting the best possible pay rate for all of our associates. I rather take less profit and have a higher pay rate than take more profit and have a lower pay rate. Because in the end, if I can put more people to work, I'll still be making my profit. All right. But it hurts us to see these people put in a hard day's work. And if they're not getting paid the right amount or they're hurting themselves, like barely getting by, that hurts us. And we try to ingrain into all of our clients that we have to pay these people right. You know, they have families to feed just like you and I. And they're the ones that are doing the grunt work. They're the ones that are hurting their backs and knees and risking, you know, their health because they're working in warehouses, lifting 50 plus pounds, but they're doing the grunt work
Yeah.
and they should be paid accordingly. So I can honestly say that I have very few, I can't even count them on one hand, companies that work for minimum wage.
Mm,
I choose not to bring in that business because it's just not fair.
wow.
It's just not. So we strive ourselves in getting the best possible pay rates for our candidates. And
That's
I will
awesome.
be more than happy to turn down jobs if it doesn't pay right. Because I just know I'm just going to waste time trying to fill those jobs. It's not fair. You're not going to find people for certain pay rates.
Yeah, I think it's especially in your neck of the woods where the cost of living can be crazy.
Well, we're nationwide and that we do that anywhere. I don't care if it's in Texas, California, Chicago, it doesn't matter. If we will look at the market for all of our jobs and if it doesn't meet what the client is asking for, we will tell them honestly, if you want to get a good quality person for this role, this is where we have to be.
What kind of pushback do you get, if at all, when you make that argument to your client?
It depends. There are some that are very understanding and will say, okay, I just need a good person right away. And then there are others that say, oh, we can't, go that high. And we also have to be careful because if that company is paying a certain amount, you don't want to go over it, because then that can hurt. You can have a clash there. So you have to be very careful. But
Hmm.
you've heard me say it numerous times. That's where partnership comes in.
Yeah.
Open communication. I will speak to all of my clients and I tell them the same thing. With me, with anyone on my team, you're going to get nothing but the truth. I'm going to
Mm,
tell you exactly how it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, not going to hide something. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is because I don't want to set you up for failure because ultimately then I'm just setting myself up for failure.
right. You kind of tied it to hip on that. Okay, so at the time that we are meeting and recording, football in my house is dead, but allegedly the playoffs are still ongoing. And you
Mm-hmm.
had a couple of interesting blogs on your website.
Yes.
One of them about the NFL playoffs and couch coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, people coaching from the sidelines and how that can interfere with ability to execute on the field. For you, how do you mentally stay in the game and tune out all the noise that's swirling around you about different business challenges?
You can only worry about what you're doing. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Just worry about yourself. And you have to put your blinders on. You know, we work in an industry that's very competitive. If I'm in a warehouse, there's most likely another staffing company in the warehouse. So instead of working against them, why not work with them? It's to help our client. We have a mutual. I have a mutual respect for other staffing firms because they're trying to do exactly what I'm trying to do. So I don't want to just come in and to any company and say, oh, I'm better than them. I can do this. I can do that. Because guess what? If I make all those promises and I don't deliver, I'm just looking like a fool. So the way I combat it is I don't want to come in and tell you, get rid of that other staffing firm, but let me come in and complement what they're already doing. And if I do it better, you give me more orders. If I don't do it better, I don't deserve the other orders, but give me a chance to prove myself. So when it comes to the noise, I don't focus in on what everybody else is doing. I can only worry about what's under my control. What am I doing? What is my team doing? What is action staffing doing? And how are we changing the lives of the people that we put to work? And ultimately, how are we helping our clients?
So continuing on our football theme, because you had another one about the Bears Packers game, which I will admit, when I went night night, the Packers were in control. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up the next day and the Bears had come back. And you had a quote that said the win sometimes comes after everyone else has stopped believing. And that was really resonated with me, especially in the context of entrepreneurship, which can feel really lonely when you're down. So for you, and you've had a long stretch with your company, when you've had a bad month or you've had one of these deals that have fallen through, like you talked about, the client said,
A
hey,
lot of
oops,
them.
never mind. Yeah. What is your personal ritual or mindset hack that helps you to like get back up and keep fighting? I think you're going to tell me, you only control things you can control, but what are some other things maybe that you use to be like, that stung, but this is what we need to do to pivot?
There's a reason, again, why I sit in my office where I do. Because looking at the people that come into my office and ask, and I hear it 100 times every day, do you have any work today? Do you have any work this week? That right there is the only motivation that I need to keep going. Simple as that. They are the ones that motivate me to go out there and try to find more work. And of course, I have my family, my wife, my 2 kids, but they are the ones that every single day, they are relying on me to go find the work. So that is really the only motivation that I need. I've had plenty of opportunities fall through the cracks. It happens. It's business. If I could land every single account that I send a service agreement to, believe me, I would be the happiest person in the world. I know that's not feasible. It's not going to happen. We're going to have more losses than we are wins. But the most important thing is for me as a salesperson, as a leader, as a managing partner, I can't look at all those losses and get down on myself because I know it's a numbers game. I've my whole career, I've always said my ratio is if I make 100 calls, I'm going to have 25 speak tos, meaning I'm going to speak to 25 decision makers out of those 100 calls. So 25% success rate. Okay. Out of those 25 speak tos, maybe I'll land 4 or 5 meetings. And then out of those 4 or 5 meetings, maybe I'll land one new account. It's the way it is. It's a numbers
Yeah.
game. Okay. But I can't look at the other 99 companies that I called on and feel down on myself. because I have that one opportunity that I need to come through for. So again, I look out at the front counter. I see those people that come in that rely on me. That's my motivation. So regardless of whether we're having a bad month or we're having a great month, the effort has to be the same month after month, week after week, day after day. It's got to be the same.
I love
Otherwise, you're
that.
just failing yourself and you're failing the people that rely on you.
Yeah, I love that sense of personal accountability um, for getting the job done. That it sits with you.
Hmm.
It's not something that someone else. My when I was in high school, my coach was teaching me a lesson, and she told me this story about how her sister went to court and spent all this time talking about what the other person did, and the judge stopped her and was like, no, 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 what did you do? And I just, that always, it's been a long time since I've been in that environment, and it still resonates with me to this day of like having that sense of personal accountability when things don't go well. How could you have done it better? What was the role that you played in it not being successful? And then if it was successful, how can you do it again? What were the things that worked that allow you to replicate that and do it again? But you
And that's
mentioned
the
a couple
problem
of
with
things.
AI too,
Yeah. So
because
tell me more about that.
people now are just sitting back and thinking, oh, I'll just let AI do it.
Hmm.
You see all these emails, you see all these emails that are coming out. Well, how many of them are actually written by someone? Or how many of them were just typed in, hey, write me this, and, I want to post it here. And then they write it for you, and then you just post it. Well, they're not coming from your words. A computer is writing that stuff. When you get on the phone, there's no computer to help you speak to someone. You still need to be able to speak to someone. So, in my opinion, AI is actually hurting businesses because you're losing that human to human interaction, the ability to communicate. I don't want a computer to do the work for me. I want to do it myself. So I still believe in making cold calls. I still believe in writing your own emails. Do we utilize AI in certain areas? Of course we do. It's 2026. We have to. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of doing business and having partnerships, you can't rely on AI to do that for you. You send someone's supposed to show up to work. What am I going to call a robot and say, how come this person didn't show up to work? No, the client's going to come calling me. Why didn't this person show up? I have to now pick up the phone and call, find out what happened. Maybe they have a good reason for it. Maybe they overslept. Who knows? But AI is good in some areas, but I think in others, it's really hurting businesses, and especially on the recruiting side. I value the fact that my recruitment is all done by humans. I don't put in a computer. I need a civil engineer. And then I'm getting 20 resumes sent back to me. No, my team is actually sitting there and doing the reverse searches and making the calls and seeing and reviewing resumes and doing all of it. We're still old school, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
That
right.
that's coming through.
But clients should also feel more comfortable in the fact that my eyes have seen the resume before it went to them. My eyes have seen the person, whether it be on a virtual interview or an in-person interview. I actually have interacted with this person. I understand who they are before I'm sending them out to you. Otherwise, anybody can just send out 20 resumes to a company and hope that one sticks. But that's not recruiting.
Mm.
It's not. So another thing that sets us apart from, I believe, a lot of our competition is the way we recruit. We're still very much involved. It's really not computerized here.
Awesome. I like the fact that you still have those very personal elements. And I think if I am a new founder and I'm trying to get clients, my first 5 clients for my business, how do I build a relationship that feels real? Like you just finished talking about dealing with real people and not being transactional. What kind of advice would you give?
The best thing is just have a conversation like you and I are having right now. Just talk to each other. Get to know each other. Put the business side away for a little bit. Understand who it is that you're talking to, what they're about. When I walk into a meeting, and I don't start off by saying, I can do this, I can do that, we can change the world for you. No, I look around the office and I look for certain things that I can talk about. Maybe someone has a picture of their family at Disney. And I say, oh, you recently went to Disney. My family, we've been thinking about making a trip out there. How long were you out there? What'd you think? Blah, blah, blah. If they have a picture of a sports team, a jersey or something on the wall. Oh, you're into sports, build a relationship before jumping into the business. It's like they say you have an elevator pitch. You got 10, 15 seconds to get someone interested. What's your pitch going to be? I could do this. I could do that. I could do this. I could do that. Or is it going to be, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this industry? How did you get to where you are now? Let me learn about the company. And then I can understand where it is that I can best fit,
Yeah, for
One of the
sure.
things my dad taught me, taught my brother, and everyone that works for our company is don't sell with your mouth. Sell
Mm.
with your ears.
Ooh, like that one.
It's the
That's a
best thing.
bar. That's a bar. That's a bar right there.
And it is the truth. Just listen.
Just listen.
It's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sale will happen by itself.
Yeah.
Just listen.
I love that one. I'm going to steal that one. But I will credit you in my mind. I'll definitely give you like the footnote credit. And the people who listen to this episode will know that I heard it here first. I'm going to get you going pretty quick. As you know, the name of the podcast is called Do Small Business Like a Big Boss. When you hear that phrase, what does that mean to you?
Well, number one, we don't use the word boss in my office. We
Okay.
use leader. And I don't want to ever be the type of person that bosses people around. I want to lead. I want to lead by example. I want people to look at me and be like, wow, that's someone to look up to. I want to build my career and be like him. All right. That to me would be the most satisfying thing that could ever happen. If someone would just look at what I do and what I'm about and say, I want to be like him. Okay. But it's all about bringing people up. That's what it's all about. I have people that work in my office that come from different areas, different backgrounds, have had some troubles in their lifetime. And again, it's all about building them up. Loyalty is something that I think is also lacking. People are not loyal to anyone. They just look for the next dollar that they can make. But if you treat your people right, if you do right by them, they will do right by you. I can tell you, I don't believe in raising my voice. I don't believe in yelling. I believe in the truth. I believe in being upfront and honest and direct. But I do not believe I am any better than anyone else that works with me. And you notice I don't, like, for our the companies that we work with, I don't use the word clients. I use partners, partnerships, relationships, because that's what it's all about. And when it comes to being the boss, the mentality is still the same. If one of my recruiters has an idea that can make our business better, I'm going to be all ears. And if that's the best idea, then we're going to run with it. So everyone is their own boss. Everyone runs their own business. And I'm in the business of helping a lot of people rely on me, whether they're the people that I send to work or the people that work alongside with me. But I'm no better than any of them. And to me, that's what makes a good boss, is don't be a boss, be a leader.
Awesome. Well, Gregory, this has been a pleasure to get to chat with you a little bit and to read those great blog posts and learn more about Action Staffing. If people want to find you or find the company, where should they check you all out?
So our website is www.actionstaffing-group.com. We're also on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. Or they can come visit our office is 1145 Elizabeth Avenue in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But our services are nationwide. We are available anywhere in the U.S., so they can find us there and reach out to us. They can always reach out to me directly. My email is gweiss@actionstaffing-group.com. Reach out to me directly. I speak to everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing your gifts. For my bosses/leaders out there, don't forget, you can build it scared. You can build it messy, but don't be afraid to build it. Don't be building it small. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you.
and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Take care.